Good evening and welcome to Express News. I'm Amritpal Singh. This is a show in which we get you the top stories of the day in a quick format. Let's quickly begin with the news we're tracking at this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with beneficiaries and vaccinators of COVID-19 vaccination drive in Varanasi via video conferencing. Participants share their first-hand experience of vaccination. Prime Minister Modi says the new year has begun on an auspicious note, asserts that the biggest vaccination program in the world is going on in India, with our frontline warriors getting vaccinated across the nation. Prime Minister Modi says in the last 6 years, the medical infrastructure in and around Varanasi was developed at a fast pace. Also says this fast-paced development has benefited the people during COVID times. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the 18th convocation of the TEZPUR University in Assam through video conferencing. 1,218 students who passed out in 2020 were conferred upon their degrees and diplomas today. 48 toppers of various undergraduate, postgraduate programs awarded gold medals. Prime Minister says the centre is committed for the development of Northeast and many new opportunities have been created for the region. Prime Minister says India did not compromise on COVID front and proved apprehensions that India will be destroyed due to COVID crisis wrong. Also asserts that India's digital infrastructure played a significant role in the fight against COVID. Prime Minister Modi stresses that national education policy focuses on data and data analytics, urges the people not only to work for individuals' future but also for nation's future. Says everyone's contribution will play an important role when India completes 100 years of independence. Speaking on the issue of natural resources and management of waste, Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds the efforts of TEZPUR University in the direction of creating biogas out of waste. Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal addresses a convocation of the TEZPUR University, says significant efforts have been made to improve the ease of doing business in the state. Tomorrow, India will mark the Prakram Divas, Jayanti of the great NETAJI SUBHAS BOSE. Among the various programs being organized across the nation, one special program is being held at Haripura in Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges the countrymen to join the program at 1 p.m. 11th round of talks between the central government and the farmers' unions over 3 farm laws remain inconclusive. Union Agriculture Minister asked the farmers to consider the government's proposals again and may tell their decision by tomorrow, asserts the government's commitment towards farmers' welfare. BJP National President JP Nadda addresses Booth President Sammelan in Lucknow, says most of the parties in the country are doing politics of nepotism. Asserts it's only the BJP that works without any discrimination and is against the politics of bringing in family members in politics. West Bengal Forest Minister Rajiv Banerjee resigns from his office as Cabinet Minister. In a letter he says, and I quote, "It has been a great honor and privilege to serve the people of West Bengal. I heartily convey my gratitude for getting this opportunity," unquote. Dynamite blast at a stone mining quarry in Karnataka's Shivamogga district. 7 people are dead. Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa announces a compensation of 5 lakh rupees each to the next of kin who were killed in the blast. Says illegal mining will be dealt with properly. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses grief over Shivamogga blasts, wishes speedy recovery to those injured. Prime Minister says the state government is providing all possible assistance to those affected. Fire broke out at the office of Shiv Sena group leader in Nashik Municipal Corporation. Fire broke out at the Municipal Corporation's second floor office. Fire was speedily brought under control. Maharashtra Labour and Excise Minister Dilip Walse Patil visits the site of the fire which took place at Manjari plant of Serum Institute of India in Pune yesterday. A forensic team also visits the site today to collect samples for investigation. The fire claimed 5 lives. Chief Election Commissioner Sunil Arora and other officials meet with West Bengal election PWD icons, discusses issues of further facilitation of PWD workers and holds a special drive awareness camps to enroll more such voters to make elections more inclusive. Union Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy Minister GIRIRAJ Singh calls on Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E.K. Palaniswamy in Chennai. In particular, it was agreed that all fishing harbours like the one in Chennai and fish landing centres be strengthened and modernised. Assam Rifles registers yet another success in its crusade against smuggling activities, recovers heroin worth 6 crore rupees in the Langsam area in Mizoram. Smuggling of drugs is a major menace for Mizoram, especially along the India-Myanmar border. Government reiterates that its COVID vaccine manufacturing facility will be made available to the world in the fight against COVID pandemic. The supply of Indian-made vaccines are underway both as gifts as well on commercial basis. On day 3 of vaccine Maitri, consignments of made in India COVID vaccines reach Myanmar today. Consignments carry 1.5 million doses of COVID vaccine reached Yangon. India sent consignments of 50,000 doses of Covishield vaccine to Seychelles and Mauritius. Seychelles is among the 4 Indian Ocean countries to receive the Covishield vaccine manufactured by the Serum Institute of India. Excuse me. The government reiterates that people should not get carried away by myths and misgivings about COVID-19 vaccine. People suffering from cancer, diabetes, hypertension, etc. cannot take the vaccine. Tamil Nadu Health Minister C. Vijayabhaskar took the COVID-19 vaccine in Chennai today. Vijayabhaskar in a tweet said that he's taking the vaccine as a doctor and a member of the IMA to instill confidence among healthcare workers. He also requested all to get vaccinated and safeguard themselves from COVID-19. Steadily following the trend set over the past weeks, India's active caseload has fallen to 1.78% of the total active cases. India's active caseload presently stands at 1,88,688. 18,002 new recoveries were registered during the past 24 hours. This has led to a net decline of 3,620 cases from the active caseload in the last 24 hours. The total recovered cases are 2,83,708. The recovery rate has improved to 96.78%. 84.70% of the new recovered cases are contributed by 10 states and union territories. Kerala saw 6,229 persons recovering from COVID. Maharashtra and Karnataka stand second in reporting high rate of recoveries. Nearly 10.5 lakh beneficiaries received the vaccination under the countrywide COVID-19 vaccination exercise so far. In the last 24 hours, 2,37,050 people were vaccinated across 4,049 sessions. India crosses yet another milestone by conducting significant number of tests. India so far record over 19 crore cumulative tests, over 8 lakh samples tested in the last 24 hours. Enforcement Directorate carried out raids at the premises of Hitendra Thakur-owned VIVA Group in Mumbai. The raids were carried out in connection with the Yes Bank and PMC Bank scam. Delhi's Custom Department has apprehended one person for smuggling 1.2 lakh Saudi riyals concealed inside a fish wire spinning. The Central Bureau of Investigation, or the CBI, has registered a case against 2 UK-based firms for allegedly creating an app to collect specific data of its users in Facebook. Sensex fell by 746 points to 48,878 today, thus giving up the psychological level of 49,000. The broader Nifty 50 index fell below by 218 points to close at 14,371. Oil prices dropped on Friday, retreating further from 11-month highs hit last week, weighed down by worries that new pandemic restrictions in China will curb fuel demand in the world's biggest oil importer. Crude oil prices fall by 102 points to settle at 3,792 rupees per barrel. Gold prices in India traded lower by 1.01% to plunge at 48,960 rupees per 10 grams. Silver futures traded 1.68% lower at 66,156 rupees per kilogram. The prices opened at 67,000 rupees as compared to the previous close of 67,300 per kilogram. The rupee slipped 4 paise to 73.03 against the US dollar in opening trade on Friday, in line with cautious domestic equities. Over 9 crore 80 lakh coronavirus cases reported worldwide. Global death toll due to coronavirus crosses 21 lakh mark. Over 7 crore 4 lakh people recover from the virus. US top infectious diseases expert says that based on recent 7-day averages, coronavirus infections may be about to hit a plateau in the United States. Also says that another highly transmissible variant of the virus first discovered in the UK has spread to at least 20 US states. Total number of COVID-19 cases in the United States surpasses 2.51 crore with over 4.2 lakh deaths. The shocking number will continue to increase sharply as the number of new deaths in the country is expected to top 1 lakh in less than a month. Many more pharmacies join Britain's COVID-19 vaccination rollout. Britain has now delivered over 5 million doses of the 2 approved vaccines, with 4.97 million people having received at least one of 2 required doses. French government recommends that people wear surgical masks in public because they offer better protection from COVID-19 transmission than the fabric face coverings. France reports over 71,000 coronavirus-related deaths since the pandemic began. California's Six Flags Magic Mountain, known for its thrilling roller coaster rides, turned into a COVID-19 vaccination site. Los Angeles County aims to have 20,000 people vaccinated each day, with each site vaccinating at least 4,000 people. France probably may need a third national lockdown if the current 6 p.m. curfew fails to rein in infections. French Health Ministry reports over 28,848 new confirmed COVID-19 cases yesterday. Last Thursday, the government tightened a daily curfew. European Commission President says the hotspots of COVID-19 infections in European Union will be labelled dark red zones. Also says travellers from those areas will be required to take a test before departure and undergo quarantine. Argentine President Alberto Fernandez receives an injection of Sputnik 5 vaccine in a hospital in western Buenos Aires. Country's health regulator says Sputnik 5 vaccine shows an efficacy of around 91.8% in people over 60. Deaths from COVID-19 in Colombia surpasses 50,000. As reported, coronavirus infections approach 2 million. Colombia is dealing with a second wave of coronavirus infections. The government reaches agreements to secure vaccine doses for 29 million people. Saudi Arabia opens its first drive-in movie theatre in Riyadh to allow viewers to enjoy watching a movie while taking the necessary precautionary measures against the spread of COVID-19. The movie theatre can accommodate up to 150 cars while applying social distancing measures. WHO says that the fight against COVID-19 pandemic in Africa could suffer from major setbacks amid inadequate access to vaccines due to hoardings by rich nations. Says 40 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have already been administered to 50 countries which are mostly high income. Google says that it would block its search engine in Australia if the government proceeds with a new code that would force it and Facebook to pay media companies for the right to use their content. Warns that its 19 million Australian users would face degraded search and YouTube experiences if the new code was enforced. U.S. House of Representatives Democrats push for a quick impeachment trial for Donald Trump over the riots at the Capitol. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi could send the article charging the former president with incitement of insurrection to the Senate today, setting up an immediate trial over the weekend or next week. Republicans in the U.S. Senate asked Democrats to delay the start of former President Donald Trump's impeachment trial till February. They argue this will give Trump time to prepare a defense. U.S. President Joe Biden proposes a 5-year extension to the New START arms control treaty with Russia. This is one of the first major foreign policy decisions of the new administration ahead of the treaty's expiration in early February. U.S. Special Climate Envoy John Kerry says measures to tackle climate change need to be ramped up significantly. Also says achieving the net zero global carbon emissions by 2050 would require a radical transformation of the economy. Syrian air defenses confront Israeli aggression in the governorate of Hama after reporting explosions. Military source says air defenses confronted the enemy's missiles and downed most of them. At least 15 people were killed and 11 injured in a fire in a nursing home in eastern Ukrainian town of Kharkiv. A fire broke out in the afternoon on the second floor of the two-story building with 33 people inside. A man who went missing while snorkeling off the Australian coast may have been taken by a shark. Authorities say this after a search operation rescued remains of the diving equipment. Royalists in Paris gathered at the Place de la Concorde to mourn French King Louis XVI's execution. The supporters of the king called his 228 years ago. The supporters of King Louis XVI then gathered at the noon in the Basilica of Saint Denis, the final resting place of the kings and queens of France. A few hundred believers and royalists took communion and praised the former king's life and deeds. Italian Coast Guard divers discovered the carcass of a whale after the calf was spotted in difficulty off the coast of Naples. The carcass was brought ashore to the port of Naples after being towed from Sorrento by sea. Belgian police have been training dogs to distinguish between positive and negative coronavirus samples of sweat for the past month at a federal police training center. While the training is intensive, dogs are rewarded by playing with their handlers for good performance. Google Arts and Culture features the Wonders of Vietnam project in an online platform to honor the country's natural landscapes and the tangible and intangible heritage recognized by the UNESCO. India's SATVIKSAIRAJ-Reddy and Ashwini Ponappa have entered to the mixed doubles of the semi-finals in Thailand Open. SATVIKSAIRAJ-PONAPPA defeated Chan Peng soon after Go Liu Ying of Malaysia 18-21, 24-20, 22-20. It took the Indian pair 1 hour and 15 minutes to beat the 5th seed Malaysian player. India's Sameer Verma lost in the men's singles quarter-final of Thailand Open. Denmark's Anders Antonsen defeated Sameer Verma 21-13, 19-21, 22-20. India's PV Sindhu crashed out of Thailand Open with a defeat in the quarter-finals. Thailand's Ratchanok defeated Sindhu 21-13, 21-9. A superb 127 from debutant Ramanullah Gurbaz helped Afghanistan to win a 16-run win over Ireland in the first of the 3 one-day internationals in Abu Dhabi. The results give Afghanistan 10 World Cup Super League points with 20 more on offer from the remaining 2 games in the current series. 19-year-old Ramanullah Gurbaz became the first Afghanistan batsman in history to score a century on debut. It was the first time in cricket history that an ODI debutant had smashed 9 sixes. All-rounder Ben Stokes and fast bowler Jofra Archer have returned to the England squad for the first 2 tests and the Tour of India. Both Stokes and Archer were rested for the current series in Sri Lanka. Johnny Bairstow, Mark Wood and Sam Curran will all be rested for the first half of the 4-test series. The series begins on 5th of February with the first 2 tests taking place in Chennai. Liverpool's 68-game unbeaten home run in the Premier League came to an end as Ashley Barnes filed a late winner from the penalty spot to secure a famous victory from Burnley. Barnes was stripped in the box by goalkeeper Alisson with 7 minutes remaining and converted the spot kick as Burnley won at the Anfield for the first time since 1974. Liverpool's last league loss on their ground came nearly 4 years ago against Crystal Palace in April 2017. Liverpool are now 6 points behind leaders Manchester United and midway point in the campaign. Burnley's shock win lifts them up to the 16th in the table, 7 points clear of the relegation zone. Manchester City striker Sergio Aguero has tested positive for COVID-19. The Argentine, who has only played a total of 141 minutes across 5 appearances this season, was already isolating after coming into contact with a positive case. Aguero missed the past 3 matches as he self-isolated and is now set to be out for a longer spell. This is the last setback for the City's all-time top scorer following knee and hamstring problems earlier in the campaign. Barcelona missed 2 penalties before ending the Copa del Rey last 16 with 2 extra goals against third-tier Cornellà. Yuan is the first keeper ever to save 2 Barca penalties in 1 game. Dembele made amends with long-range strike to 2 minutes into the extra time, while Martin Braithwaite added a second after Albert was sent off. Luis Suarez double sent Atletico Madrid 7 points clear in La Liga as they recovered after goalkeeper Marco had given Eibar the lead. Dimitrovic, taking on penalty duties for the first time of his club, fired his first career goal. Suarez levelled from a tight angle and then netted the winner for Atletico with a penalty in the 89th minute. It is a big win for Diego Simeone's side, who now have a strong grip on the title races in Spain. ITBP won the 10th National Ice Hockey Championship trophy after a win over Ladakh state team in the finals in Gulmarg. In the tournament, various teams of Delhi, Maharashtra and the Indian Army also participated. 51st International Film Festival today screened Justice Delayed but Delivered Only Human in Indian Panorama segment, while in Spring Breeze was showcased in the Focus Country Bangladesh's segment. The 51st International Film Festival also paid tribute to veteran filmmaker Irfan Khan. His movie Pan Singh Tomar was being screened to pay homage. Iconic bhajan singer Narendra Chanchal has passed away at the age of 80. He was admitted to Apollo hospital where he breathed his last today. The cast and crew of Hangama 2 has finished the shoot of its peppy title track, a directorial project of Pridarshan. The film will feature Paresh Rawal, Shilpa Shetty and Paneet SUBHAS in lead roles. The biopic of life journey of the oldest marathon runner of the world, Fauja Singh, has been announced. The film title will be titled Fauja Singh and will be directed by Umang Kumar. The shoot for comedy film Thank God has kick-started. The movie will feature Ajay Devgan, Siddharth Malhotra and Rahul Preet Singh. The release date of No Time to Die has again been delayed. The movie starring Daniel Craig will now release on the 8th of October. American actress Diane Lane turned 57 today. She has appeared in several notable films like Unfaithful, A Little Romance and Streets of Fire. Saudi Arabia has opened its first drive-in movie theatre accommodating 150 cars in Riyadh to allow viewers to enjoy watching a movie while necessary precautions and measures against the spread of COVID-19. The organisers of the UK's biggest musical event, Glastonbury, have decided to call off the event in view of COVID-19. The festival has been cancelled for the second consecutive year. Fans of Drake will again have to wait for the new album Certified Lover Boy. The reason for delay is cited to be his recent surgery. Jason Reitman's Ghostbusters Afterlife has been pushed from June 11th to November 11th release. The film stars Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace and Paul Rudd. K. Cannon's Cinderella, which had been set to open February 5th, will now hit theatres on July 16th. It stars Camila Cabello in the title role. Comedian Dave Chappelle has tested positive for COVID-19. He has cancelled the remainder of his scheduled shows in Austin, Texas this week. Showtime has added a second A-list actress to its anthology series. The First Lady, Michelle Pfeiffer, has been announced to play Betty Ford in the series, which will also star Viola Davis as Michelle Obama. Well, that's it then in Express News. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.